Hello everyone, in this video we are going to look at the correct answers along with their locations that follows this academic reading passage 1, that is nutmeg, a valuable spice. So the first type of question that follows this passage is fill in the blanks, and the first fill in the blank is the leaves of the tree are dash in shape. So answer lies in this line of the first paragraph of the passage. The line is the tree is thickly branched with dense foliage of tough dark green oval leaves. So the shape of the leaf is oval. So oval is the correct answer. The second blank is the dash surrounds the fruit and breaks open when the fruit is ripe. Answer lies here. The fruit is encased in a freshly husk. When fruit is ripe, the husk splits into two halves along a ridge running the length of the fruit. Answer is husk, not freshly husked, because we have to choose only one word from the passage. So husk is the correct answer. The next is the dash is used to produce spiced nutmeg. Answer lies in the last lines of the first paragraph. These are the sources of two spices, nutmeg and mace, the former being produced from dried seeds. So former one is nutmeg. So it is mentioned clearly over here that nutmeg is produced from dried seeds. Again, we have to write only seed because dried seed will be inappropriate and incorrect because we have to choose only one word. So seed is the correct answer. Next blank is the covering known as aril is used to produce dash. So maize is the correct answer and the location is the same line. These are the sources of two spices, nutmeg and mace, the former being produced from the dried seeds and later from the aril. So maize is produced from aril. So mace is the correct answer. Next type of questions is true, false and not given. The fifth statement is in the Middle Ages, most Europeans knew where nutmeg was grown. So the statement is false because it is written over here in this part of the passage. Let's start reading to understand it. Throughout this period, the Alps were the exclusive importer of the spice to Europe. They sold nutmeg for high prices to merchants based in Venice, but they never revealed the exact location of the source of this extremely valuable commodity. It is clearly mentioned over here that the herbs never revealed the location where nutmeg was grown to Europeans. So the statement is mentioning that European were having the knowledge of the location where nutmeg was grown. So it is false. The next statement is the VOC was world's first major trading company. There is mention about the VOC in this paragraph, but it is not mentioned that the VOC was the world's first major trading company. So because of this, it is not given. This information is not given in the passage. The next statement is, following the Treaty of Breda, the Dutch had control of all the islands where nutmeg grew. So it is true because it is given in the passage and the location is on the second page of the passage and lies somewhere here. Let's start reading from this. The Dutch and the British arrived at the compromise settlement, the Treaty of Breda, in 1667. Intent on securing their hold over every nutmeg producing island, the Dutch offered a trade. If the British would give them the island of Run, they would in turn give Britain a distant and much less valuable island in North America. The British agreed. That other island was Manhattan, which is how New Amsterdam became New York. The Dutch now had a monopoly over the nutmeg trade, which would last for another century. So it is clearly mentioned that following the Treaty of Breda, Dutch had monopoly over the trade of nutmeg. So answer is true. The statement is true and it is mentioned in the passage. Next type of the question is that we have to complete the following table and we again have to use only one word from the passage. So the first part is, in the Middle Ages, nutmeg was brought to Europe by dash. So answer is here in this line. It is second paragraph. Throughout this period, Arabs were the exclusive importers of the spice to Europe. This means that it was Arabs who brought the spice to Europe. So Arabs is the correct answer. Next is, in the 17th century, the demand for nutmeg grew as it was believed to be effective against the disease known as the dash. So as it is mentioned over here, that at the same time thousands of people across Europe were dying of the plague, a highly contagious and deadly disease. Doctors were desperate for a way to stop the spread of the disease and they decided nutmeg held cure. So it was believed that nutmeg was effective against the disease known as plague. So plague is the correct answer. Next is again in the 17th century, the Dutch put dash on nutmeg to avoid it being cultivated outside the island. And the location of the answer is here. All exported nutmeg was covered with lime to make sure that there was no chance of a fertile seed which could be grown elsewhere would leave the island. So answer is lime. Next is in 17th century again, the Dutch finally obtained the island of dash from the Britain. Answer is run and the answer lies here. Let's start reading from here. One of the Banda Islands, a sliver of land called Run, only 3 km long by less than 1 km wide, was under the control of the British. After decades of fighting for control of this tiny island, the Dutch and British arrived at a compromise settlement, the Treaty of Breda, in 1667. Intent on securing their hold over every nutmeg producing island, the Dutch offered a trade. If British would give them the island of Run, they would in turn give Britain a distant and much less valuable island in North America. The Britain agreed. So here in this line it is mentioned that if British would give them the island of Run, so Run is the correct answer. In 17th century, the Dutch obtained the island of Run from Britain, and it is also mentioned here that British agreed. The British agreed. So they agreed for this treaty and handed over the island of Run to Dutch. And Dutch finally obtained the island of Run from the British. Now, late 18th century, in 1770, nutmeg plants were secretly taken to Mauritius. So the answer lies here in the second last paragraph of the passage. Then in 1770, a Frenchman named Pierre successfully smuggled nutmeg plants to safety in Mauritius. So Mauritius is correct answer. Next, in 1778, half the Banda Islands nutmeg plantation were destroyed by tsunami. So answer is here. In 1778, a volcanic eruption in Banda region caused tsunami that wiped out half the nutmeg groves. So tsunami is the correct answer.